So you're finally in love, are you? You've been killing monsters for so long, you forgot this was a thing. You've spent so much time beating troll meat with a hammer that you forgot there are better ways to enjoy your time, and that is with someone else, a significant other, there to carry all of your burdens, or explore the vast wilderness together, or even receive mods that seriously enhance their genetics, whether they like it or not. This is the kind of person that you need in your life, and I'm so glad you're finally here to make that happen. It must have been a prophecy. I'm only kidding, Dragonborn. That already happened to you one too many times, you spoiled brat. But you can't jump into this too quickly. Love is a complicated thing, I dare say. The hardest quest you'll ever have to do. You should be prepared for what this is really going to take. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, bye. Good luck to you. Today I'm going to be listing my top 5 promiscuous mud crabs in... Oh, you want me to prepare you for what this love is going to entail. Alright, I suppose I can do that. Today I will be listing the 5 stages of love in Skyrim. Let's get into it. Starting off with stage 1, we have Rejection. Hey, you're good looking, but you're not that good looking, and there are people out there who are not going to want to be with you. Don't worry. This is normal. For example, let's take the relationship between Mikhail and Carlotta. In this case, you're like Mikhail. You think you're really hot. You think you can get anyone you want, but you're wrong. And even though you do have a lovely singing voice, she just isn't that into you. Maybe this is because you slut yourself around. Oh, you slut. That's not good. Despite what your teachers tell you, venereal disease makes you a lesser person. And it is going to take a lot more than a trip to a shrine of Talos to cure yourself. So if you're like Mikhail, people may never want to touch you. Now what about Viper the Fleet and Sapphire? He tries to seduce her by saying, "So Sapphire, can I do anything for you?" Or more to the point, to you? Oh, Viper, that's no way to hit on women. She rejects his offer, and then even retorts by saying the experience would be a fleeting one anyway. Don't be like Viper. Starting off the conversation like that is only going to get you slapped. Or stabbed, or burned. The people of this province, they're very deadly. And lastly, we have Delvin Mallory and Vex. Sometimes it's not about what you say, the other person is just out of your league. That's all. Delvin is much older than Vex, but still he persists. He writes her letters asking for her to give him a chance, that he can teach her a thing or two. Oh, Delvin, you're just too old, and you have a funny mustache. She says no. He then proceeds to try and watch her bathing naked in the lake. That's creepy, Delvin, and you're just not that good a thief to get away with it. So, what did we learn? No matter what your approach is when talking to someone you like, they're not always going to like you back. This is just something you're going to have to accept. Although hopefully your methods are not as gross as those 3. Stage 2, we have starting the relationship. It's time to get things moving. You've been rejected however many times, more than me, but now you've found someone that likes you, and you like them. The thing is, love shouldn't be easy to earn. This quest reward is going to be difficult for you to get. Before starting any relationship, there are challenges that you're going to have to overcome. For example, let's take the love triangle between Camilla and her 2 suitors, Sven and Feindal, both fighting each other for her love. In this case, you're like Sven. You still live with your mom, and you've only ever been asked to play your music locally. Feindal, the guy your girl tells you not to worry about, has a foreign accent and teaches archery. Looks like you're out of luck, huh? Not necessarily. Try something nefarious. Try writing a letter to the person you like in the name of your rival, saying we shouldn't talk anymore. That way they'll only have you left to choose. But wait, isn't that lying? Yes, it is lying. But remember what I said. Feindal has a foreign accent. Challenge overcome. What about a different scenario? Let's take Ataf and Ildi from the Bard's College. No one likes Ildi. Even her teachers make fun of how badly she performs. So in this case, you're not going to have any competition. The thing is, Ildi is really very timid. Ataf is the only one to stand up for her. It's pretty clear that he has a crush on her, and maybe she even knows this. But nothing's going to get done if one of them doesn't initiate that conversation. You're both bards, aren't you? Hey, Ataf, why don't you suggest writing a love ballad with her? And then when you finish, surprise her by singing it for her. That would be very romantic, and would probably earn you extra credit. So, what did we learn? Starting a relationship, no matter who you do it with, is going to present certain challenges that need to be overcome. But it's important that you stick with it. Don't give up. Otherwise, you'll end up like Anise, living alone in a nasty cabin in the woods, trying to lure children to come and stay with you. Gross! Stage 3, we have newlyweds. You finally did it. Even you. I don't believe it either. Somehow you found out that you need to speak to Mara Mall and get an amulet of Mara before you can ask those fateful words to your beloved. But once all that's in order, now begins your new life with the person of your dreams. And at this point, you've never loved them more than you do now. You're buzzing with excitement. It's like you're overdosing on mana potions, but but without all of those painful hallucinations, like hagravens sticking needles in your calves. I remember my first time, but no, this feeling is unlike any other. But who do you choose to share it with? For women, there's Mule the lioness. Don't let her name fool you. She's a fox if I've ever seen one. And you don't need to worry about her friend, Aaron. He's still at stage 1, getting rejected. In fact, he's been follower zoned. This means Mule doesn't like him any more than just a follower for the road, someone to carry her supplies. Ancient tales tell of a man who was able to overcome the follower zone and woo his special lady, but modern philosophers say this is just old mythology and is not actually a possibility. So you do not have to worry about Aaron. There's also Lydia, your personal house Carl, when you get to Whiterun. Maybe it was love at first sight. You wouldn't even want to do all that extra searching. And after that first cave you two cleared together, that was it. You were sold, sticking with your first love to the very end. The two of these are just to name a few. Now let's move on to the men. There's Farkas and Vilkas. They're twins, 2 rugged warriors, very brooding. By including them both, I'm not implying that you can have them both, but that would be ideal. Maybe give it a shot. There's no harm in trying. There's also Argus the Bulwark, your personal housecarl, and Markarth. Do you like muscles? Do you like feeling small in the arms of your man? Do you like when people have really cool titles? Boy, you're picky, aren't you? But Argus is going to be the perfect match just for you. So, what did we learn? When you become a newlywed, you're going to be at the height of your love. Everything is going to be perfect. And your bedroom affairs are probably going to be as exciting as that of Helga's. Shackles on the bed, a big jar of honey on the table, and a lot of stamina potions right on hand. But remember, don't overdose on them. What you experience is going to be a lot more than just a hallucination. Stage 4, we have conflict. This is where you've been married for a little while, but the oifum is starting to wear off. You see what your partner is like in their day-to-day life. You see how their baggage is going to affect you, and that really is important. If they don't have enough space to hold your gems, dump their ass very fast. Now let's give an example of what Stage 4 looks like. Let's take Nazim and Alam. They're still married, but they're going through a lot of conflict. They hardly speak to each other. Nazim gets his mind off of it by belittling others, and Alam does by telling people her husband grovels at the feet of the Jarl and is self-absorbed. And he is self-absorbed! That's a very good observation, Alam. Despite these feelings, they still sleep together at the top of the Drunken Huntsman because gold must be tight and they just can't afford to split up at this point. Oh no, they're headed for a divorce if they can't fix this. Maybe Alam will love him again if she sees him physically walk up to the Cloud District. But I certainly hope not. So you see, this conflict can be a problem and what it can lead to. What about a marriage that isn't doing quite as bad as theirs? Let's take Annika Cragjumper and Werner Rockchucker. These two are on much better terms. Plus they gave birth to Sylgia, which gives them big points in my book. The thing is, Annika doesn't think Werner is adventurous enough, and Werner doesn't think Annika works enough. They're having a hard time finding that balance. Remember, you two, work enough so that you can play, but not so much that you never play at all. Although I will say stealing from people can be very lucrative. And fun at the same time! So, what did we learn? You and your spouse are eventually going to experience conflict. What's important is that you find a way to deal with this and become stronger in the process. Otherwise, you'll end up like Nazim, and you never want to be like Nazim. Also, it should be mentioned there are other conflicts a couple can face as well. One of these is death, like Karen and Talver being ripped to shreds by a wild animal while they were trying to elope. In this case, your conflict has been resolved, but not in the preferred way. And Stage 5, we have happily married or not. This is what you've been fighting for so long. Your quest has almost been completed, and depending on how you handled Stage 4, that's going to decide where you are at Stage 5. If you are not able to resolve your conflict, then you are not going to be happily married. So if you're a man, then perhaps you end up like Brynjolf, in an affair with Tonilia, who's currently dating Vekkel the man. This is of course just a rumor, but if it is true, that would be wrong. Hitting on someone else's girl. In the hood, that would be very frowned upon. In the Dark Brotherhood, I mean, do try to avoid that. Now, if you're a female, then perhaps you end up like Alva, trying to seduce an entire town's worth of guards. Oh, Alva, if you don't respect yourself and your body, no one else is going to either. That's too many men to be sucking, vampire or not. So as we can see, not being happily married is going to lead to all sorts of tickles and troubles. But what if back at Stage 4, you were able to resolve your conflict? For example, let's take the marriage of Saren and Rustleaf. They own a blacksmithing business in Dawnstar. Saren doesn't like how cold the weather is, but she knows being in Skyrim makes her husband happy, and she's willing to stay there for as long as he needs. She's also currently pregnant with a child, and so Rustleaf knows that next season he'll be the one doing all of the smithing so that she can focus on the baby. Two people who are happily married, willing to accommodate each other to maintain a happy, healthy relationship. Ding, ding, ding! That's how you do it. Another example is that of Astrid and Arnbjorn. They realize they have a lot in common. Like killing people. They both kill lots and lots of people. Sometimes Arnbjorn will chop someone's legs off with an axe and then let his wife come by and apply poison to the wounds. Good job, you two. Sharing kills is an effective bonding experience. Plus, Arnbjorn would sacrifice himself if it ever meant saving Astrid's life. Every husband should feel that same way. So what did we learn? Love is a many-layered thing. You'll have to face rejection, then finally find someone who wants to be with you, get married and enjoy all of that, face challenges as they come up, and then if you're successful, learn from them, grow stronger from them, and then create a love that is going far, far beyond the province of Skyrim because it is eternal. And there you have it, the 5 stages of love in Skyrim. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And down below, please tell me, who did you end up getting married to? Alright, thank you very much for watching. I really do hope this is going to help you. Once I get past stage 1, I can't wait to use my own advice.